Hey gang, we are at St. Boniface Cemetery today, Catholic cemetery here in Chicago. It's on the north side of the city, north of Graceland, and we're here today to pay respects to a woman named Mary Theresa. You look up, you're in that, it's the last thing you see is the car in the last millisecond. And then you're dead. Well, that's what happened to Mary. There was a train buff, a grandpa with his grandson, and they were basically setting up a video camera at the pedestrian crossing in Downers Grove. He had his grandson, and he was waiting for the Burlington Northern E9 locomotive, which was going to be coming pretty soon. And that particular engine was going to be retiring from, well, the fleet, if you will. Now, from their vantage point, you could see that there was a train that was unloading passengers on the track furthest to the left. Now, there were 3 tracks that were there, and I'll try to describe it as best I can. Just imagine you got 1, 2, 3. So this train is facing us on this left track, stationary, engine's right there, people. And the lights are going, and you can't see beyond that train. And people are just not paying attention. They're looking down. Some are looking. And I think it was 5:48 p.m. And you see a woman. You see a woman kind of go like this, and then she slowly backs away. And the next thing you see is Mary with her attorney, who was just in front of her, and he is just getting to that middle track, and he looks and he goes like this, he stops, and she's behind him kind of scampering along, and just at the wrong instant, that train came at 60 miles an hour, was right there. It missed him by inches, and it flat out hit her square. And what's really crazy is that you see it in the video, and it's basically, she comes flying right at the camera like a baseball grounder. Never seen anything like it. But you see, just before she looked up in that last instant, and that was the last thing she ever saw. And her body came flying at the camera, tripod, grandfather. She was like a bowling ball knocking them over like bowling pins. Broke Grandpa's leg. And can you imagine the horror of everybody, the horror of the grandson to this day? Just in a split second, not paying attention. What was sad is she was going through her divorce. I'm sure she was very distracted with that. They were actually headed to sign the divorce papers with the ex-husband. I think they're literally on the way to get that divorce finalized. Really terrible, terrible, terrible story. So sad. Your life is just, the last thing you're thinking about your future. You're thinking of the relief, the weight that's been lifted off your shoulders. Your new life. And then you don't even have any warning, your life is over. The force that the train hit her, I mean, the physics of it, it was literally probably the same thing, the physics of a baseball bat hitting a stationary, like an underhanded throw baseball at a monumental scale. The physics, unbelievable. It shows you how devastating and unyielding train locomotives are traveling at high speed. We've seen it how many times. People not paying attention, cars crossing. It could have happened to any one of those people. Any one of them. But it was not Mary's day. Very bad luck. What's really sad is makes it really tough in the aftermath is that, just like our story of the bus that was hit by the train in Fox River Grove, all those kids killed, the train engineer obviously felt horrible. He just was devastated. And they made him take the train back, roll it backwards. I think it took 10 minutes to back that train up, and her body was still laying there. She had gone beyond and hit at an electrical box. And he had to look out the window and recreate the scene for investigators. And he had to leave the job. I don't think he quit, but he was done for the week. He was completely devastated. And it ruins, these events ruin not just the victim and the family, but the victim's family, but many, many lives. There was a wrongful death lawsuit brought on by the family, and that court case was dismissed. Mary Theresa was 41 years old only, not even halfway through her life, starting her new life, and just in an instant, it's all over. And sadly, Mary had 3 children. Her grave is right up here. Right up here. She is buried in this family plot. This very large marker here. Altenhofen, and you can see a newer etching here. Mary Theresa Wojtyla or Wojtyla, not sure of the pronunciation. Nee Walch. November 8th, 1949, August 26th, 1991. And there is a stone for Mary here. Very sad story.